Okay friends, in general, any language model, any LLM has 4 limitations by default. Number 1, it generates content based on the data it's trained on. For example, OpenAI states that our default model's training data cuts off in 2021. So if you're asking about something new happened in 2022 or 2023, it can't answer by default. The second limitation is what we call a token limit. Again, in OpenAI documentation, you can see each model with the maximum tokens that it can handle. As you mentioned before, a token is like a piece of word. To understand the concept of tokens, OpenAI has this small tool, tokenizer. Let's copy any text like this one here and paste it. You will see that it will automatically show you the tokens generated. We have here 44 tokens, how many characters, and so on. So each model can handle a certain number of tokens. So for example, if you want the model to create a full book of like 50,000 words, it will not be able to do that. Or summarize a book directly in one prompt, it will not do that. So by default, it has limits. Going back here, you will see we have GPT-4 with 8,000 tokens. We have GPT-4, 32,000 Ks with 32,000 tokens and so on. So each model has a limited number of tokens. The third limit is by default, language model is not connected to any third-party service or applications. So for example, if you go here to ChatGPT and you ask to connect to weather API and get me the weather today, it will tell you, I'm sorry, I don't have direct access to real-time data or APIs or services. So it's also limited and can't connect directly by default to third-party services. Number 4 is hallucinations. If you go back here to the playground, look at this, it's somehow funny. And we ask the GPT model, who is the first man who stepped on Mars? Submit. It will tell you he is Neil Armstrong, and this information is not correct. So the model is hallucinating here. So sometimes the model will give you hallucinated answers. So these are mainly the 4 problems or limitations that comes with models by default. I know today we have Google Bard connected to the internet. We have ChatGPT plugins. With GPT-4 here, we can select plugins to connect to services and so on. We are talking about LLMs by default. We will see later in the course how we can solve token limitations, how we can connect to the internet by ourselves without using plugins to take control of everything. We will see how to fix hallucinations with some prompt optimizations and so on. But for now, understand that every language model has in general by default these 4 limitations or problems.